What's up, everybody? Happy Horror Monday. It's your boy Blaze Horror at it again, I tell you. So, the last time I did a video about this wasn't necessarily about these films. It was what I picked up at Walmart last week. This and several other items. I talked about The Thing, the prequel, which is that one right there. Got it in the back and the bottom. The first time I watched it when it came out, when it premiered, I got to the point where it showed the alien, what the alien looked like and all that, and it took me within minutes later. I was like, oh, I can't watch it, man. It's terrible. But I actually didn't give the movie a chance. And up to the other day watching this, I never realized that I should have gave it a chance because I really was going to enjoy this movie. Especially the end. I got my own outtake on the end. I'll share it here in a minute. Let me get to some detail of this movie. Had to do a little research. So the thing prequel was made actually to follow up to the other one, the beginning of the John Carpenter's Thing, starring Kurt Russell. We all know this notorious, famous image right there. So John Carpenter's Thing was a phenomenal movie when it came out. I remember when it came out. I was a young buck, teenager. I was into like horror that already existed. I wouldn't say I was like this huge fan. I gave sci-fi horror movies a little more chance back then because they were like newer compared to how they used to do them in the 50s and so forth, like the black and white films. The films that were black and white and looked like they did a little finger painting, water paints kind of coloring to it. So I was never a big fan on the sci-fi horror. I think I mentioned that a lot in videos. So this movie was released in 2011. It's a sci-fi horror. Now I'm talking about the Thing prequel. It's a creepy, thrilling, and horrific sci-fi horror. You give it a chance. To me, the beginning is kind of goes slow, and I'm like, man, where do you want to go with this movie? Not too many familiar actors other than the main actress, the main character, and this guy Carter. The guy Carter is portrayed by the actor who was he's in a slew of movies, but I think he's most recognized for his role in The Departed with Mark Wahlberg, Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon. A lot of actors in that movie. Charlie Sheen was in that movie. So he was the buddy of the gangster who got a job at the FBI and was cutting this guy off, that gangster Whitey Bulger, all the bricks. So he's in. He plays a guy named Carter. He's not a helicopter pilot. His buddy is. Naturally, his buddy reaches his demise, like most of the other characters in these movies. It starts off the Norwegian. It's a Norwegian base camp, and the one with Kurt Russell, the John Carpenter one, is an American base camp out there. You remember in the beginning of the John Carpenter, they shoot the pilot that was chasing that dog, which I'll reference back to him again later. It's a different actor completely, but that character is in the prequel. So I'll get to that part. But they shoot him and they take the dog. The guy who takes care of the dog's got a bunch of other dogs. And then later on that day, he's asked to put him in with the other dogs because he's getting in the way. People are tripping over him. They're just like, whatever. So they put him in the cage. And that's when everything starts to happen. The Thing comes, starts mimicking all these dogs. A great, great horror sci-fi scene for the decade that it came out in. To me, that what made a lot of regular horror fans, like your slasher horror fans like me, or your basic everyday horror fan with basic horror movies. The John Carpenter thing was phenomenal, and that scene with the dogs. They go in there with the flamethrower, and they got the shotgun. They're all unloading on these things. The thing breaks through the ceiling and stuff. Which it does it in the prequel too, in the beginning when it breaks out of the ice. Now, if you go back to the John Carpenter one, you would see when they go into that room at the Norwegian camp when they went to see what's going on over. They find dude frozen, which in the prequel you get to know more about that guy who's sitting in the chair frozen. So that was cool. I never knew any of this stuff when the movie first came out. I kind of, oh man, this is cheesy. I gotta turn it off. But I am glad I watched it because all this stuff links to the John Carpenter thing. I keep almost saying Alien. John Carpenter's Alien. Yeah. So anyway, but this movie got me real excited. So in the movie, these Norwegians in the front, they're driving across the snow, and it like shakes. The ground opens up. They fall in. They're facing down in this pit like this, and they turn on the headlights in the little truck they're in. And he shines the spaceship. So they go back to get a team out there. The main character, the girl, they have her go out there because she does a lot of excavation and stuff on, like mummified type ancient artifacts, so to speak. So they get her out there. So everything starts happening like it does in the John Carpenter's thing with Kurt Russell. The same format, everything starts playing out the same. Now that's also that film. I was wondering, this one guy had he looked like a surfer dude from California, American guy. He's one of the girl's friends. She's about the only one she really knew out of that group of people, the Norwegians and all that. And but he's got this long hair, and it don't go with his face because his face got a tan. And I'm thinking, what an odd looking dude for this part, for this type of movie. But it didn't dawn on me that it's put in it was the story backline is it's the 80s. It's a couple of months to a couple of weeks after the John Carpenter's thing. And so, it took me all that time up to the point where the dude gets merged with this alien. Like, man, it was a cool scene. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Give it a shot. Fast forward to the beginning if you want to get to all the good stuff. I mean, from when it gets to the alien and the crazy and the, killing the people and the aliens taking control, mimicking people. It's still it's playing. It's going to move a little bit fast, but it explains everything. Everything just falls in place. And if you've seen this and you're a fan of the John Carpenter thing, you start saying, "Oh man, this is this and that's that. Oh, that's that room that was in the other with John Carpenter." So it was real cool, well thought out. What else can I say about it? I already said it was the prequel to John Carpenter's thing. John Carpenter's thing came out in 1981, and then the thing prequel came out 2011. So there is a long gap and waiting period. I think if they would have did it in even like 1990, 1991, I think it would have been filmed a little more grittier like the original one due to what film they used and the special effects back then. But outside of that, like I said, I'm glad I gave it a shot because it was cool. And I felt the coolest thing I found about this movie was that all the different references right to John Carpenter's thing. Now at the end, check this. This is not a spoiler for those who haven't seen it, but at the end, it's the girl and that American guy who works in, he was a co-pilot in the helicopter that brings the Nord back and forth, gets supplies. Carter, he was the actor that was in The Departed with Jack Nicholson, and Johnny Depp. Why did I say Why I said Whitey Bulger and done it. Never mind. This is how excited this movie got me. I wanted to watch it again before doing the video, but I went ahead and did a video, and now I'm probably gonna watch it again today, and it's only been what 2-3 days. But so anyway, at the end of the movie, you know, this girl and this dude, this guy Carter, they go to the ship. Now they blow the ship up. So you think, oh, I mean, these are the last two people, they're taking it right to the heart of the matter. And the alien that merged with the girl's friend and like one or two other guys, it kind of like got all this weird, like you remember in the first one, they go to the Norse camp, they go and they find the frozen guys, the hole in the roof, this empty slab of ice. So now when they both walk back out to leave, they see this thing was burned. Remember in the snow in John Carpenter's there when they go to the trashed Norwegian camp. And it was all mangled, looked like several different, you know, two heads like merging together, something like you would see in like Hellraiser, Hell on Earth to be exact, because they get the little merging with the cops' heads, the security guards' heads. So that was the end, towards the ending scene, that they burned that alien that had all these people together. And there was one Pacific that they went to the ship, started up the ship, was going to take off. So these two people went, Carter and this girl went. They blew it up, got out of there. They go in the car, getting in the car at the end. The guy Carter gets into the driver's seat, and the girl's still standing outside, and she's looking at him like, and he's sitting there. He's like, yeah, we could go somewhere else and start anew. So he's saying all this stuff, and she reminded him that, or she pointed out to him that his earring was in a different ear than what it was in. So she figured out that the alien got him. Now see, when the alien copycats a person, if you got any fillings or if you got some surgery or, you know, busted bones, we got little metal and braces inside, it gets rid of all that. Scars, no mas, or no more. And so this alien, because then they start figuring out, and the girl's telling me that's why we're finding these teeth with the filling in it. It can't replicate like objects like that. It can replicate the flesh, the bone. You got some memories going on there somewhat, because they know the person, they know certain things to say to the people that know them. And so this alien, at some point, which they don't show it in the film, must have put the earring in the wrong ear, right? So like in the 80s, you know, some dude, you wear it in one ear, then you're good to go, but then in the other ear, it's kind of like, come on, you got it in the wrong ear, dude. But, so she figured it out, and she cooks him with the flamethrower. Right his keister. So she goes, she walks over, gets in the other vehicle, and then she just sits there. Now you remember in the original Alien movie, the John Carpenter version, and in this prequel, after the alien replicates somebody, they'll get that dead look when they just like boom, like there's nothing, like they, you know, and it was like she sat there with this look on her face, and I'm like, man, my opinion, it would be a wild opinion if it's true, that both of them were aliens, because I realized then and there when this alien replicates people, that's another alien pretty much. It ain't like the one alien overall controlling it all these other parts of it that mimic this or mimic that person or this animal. They become individual aliens is what I got of it right at that last scene. So here you go, Carter and this girl, they were the aliens. They thought, you know what, we'll stay here. We're going to blow up the ship. So they blew up the ship. And that's when the guy Carter got in and said, now we could go and start somewhere else new. But the girl, right after she cooked him, she sits in the other truck and she's like, dead, like the alien looks when he gets caught out there. You were alien, and the mug standing out there like, or the mug standing out there like. So my opinion at the end, what I got, and it would be wild if I mean it fits, or they could have just did a version where it ended like that. What do you say? Man, I was gonna say. So it was two dominant aliens, and the one alien did away with the other by cooking them. Then that alien, which was her, got into the truck, and then it ended right there. And then the guy comes running out there, vanishes in the movie. You think he's a goner. He speaks Norwegian. He doesn't speak any American language, but he was running around with the girl. Well, a tough guy. He owned it, and now seeing that in that prequel. In the beginning, that camp only has one snow dog, and that was his dog. So now, you speed it all the way up to the beginning. The girl cooked Carter. She left. The credits are rolling. The credits stop. This helicopter's coming, lands. This guy comes running out, and this dude, and you're like, oh man, this guy, he's got the gun, the shotgun. He's got. Come on, let's go up. We need to chase the. He sees the dog take off. We need to chase the dog. That's not a dog. He goes in his language to the guy. So they're chasing and shooting, and that's the opening scene for the John Carpenter's thing. Where they all come outside and they land, and the one guy at the American base camp in the John Carpenter's got a little pistol out the window. Gave him one right here. So I thought all that was cool. Now, if it didn't reference that well to the John Carpenter thing, I think I still would have liked it, but I wouldn't have been like, man, it was great. I'm glad they linked it to this and how they did it, man. For me, it worked. I'm going to go ahead from what I said the last time about the thing before doing a review and watching it from the entirety over again. I'll give that movie a 10. I give the Thing prequel a 10. Now, I don't give many 10s. I said it before in other videos. It's rare. But I give it a 10. I'm giving it a 10 because I should have gave it a chance to begin with. So that's on me. My bad. And 2, well done with linking it as a prequel to the John Carpenter's thing. And with that said, once again, I thank you for viewing my content. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm stoked up. I got a lot going on today. Got me a bunch of sales on eBay I gotta take care of right now. Coming up with some more ideas for Halloween. Trying Halloween direction. So I'm like a kid, man, when it comes to certain things and Halloween and horror movies and buying and selling, making something out of nothing, building something out of nothing, just gets me real stoked. And it's like the adrenaline of a 22-year-old at 51. But once again, I thank you for viewing my content. Thank everybody who's new tuning in. For everyone who recently subscribed to my channel, thank you. I do odds and ends type videos from time to time. I do shorts. My short I usually use to put up because that the whole entirety of YouTube can see it. So I usually for like a bulletin board or a commercial type thing, for, show people what kind of content can come check me out type deal. I'm glad that's working. Thank you, YouTube. Once again, I thank all my subscribers. Hope everybody's having a safe and fun Horror Monday. Here in Jersey right now, it's raining. It's been raining since last night. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, use the bath. I was walking into stuff. No lights work. They came on dim. It was like a brownout or something, whatever they call it. That's twice within the last 7 days. I just hope the winter time it doesn't like, oh man, here we go. We're going to go 7 days without heat. Don't like being in Jersey in the cold, man. In the city when it was living there and it was cold, I walk around downtown Manhattan or the south side of Michigan Avenue when I was out in Chicago and all that. Because out there the wind doesn't get through buildings. Out here is too much open space and trees and grass, falling branches, and but anyway, I'm gonna keep going, man, because I'm real stoked. Like I said, I got another video coming. Stu, Clue Gallagher, horror icon. He appeared in films like, there's ones earlier, but I'm gonna name off one or two of his horror movies. That I always watched him in. I know he has earlier stuff that, because he goes way back in acting and in films. He was in cowboy movies, all the kind of stuff. He died in 2020. He passed away in 2022. So rest in peace. Much love to Clue Gallagher's family. Yeah, but he was in, he made an appearance in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He played the main character's father. He was cool in that. He kept messing with the kid. I was like, man, check out this dude. What a dad. He was in my favorite horror film and horror zombie film of all time, and my favorite 80s zombie film, Return of the Living Dead. He owns the warehouse, the Unita warehouse. And if you need a candle, look up CHH YouTube channel on here. He's also a horror guy. He's been at this a lot longer than I have. He's the one that gave me the final push that I really needed to start doing my own videos. Christian and horror. But anywho, yeah, so he's in that. Him and his family did, like, his son produced and directed, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was the original Feast, but I know his family and his kids worked on the first and the second installment of Feast. So I'll be talking a little about those films. A little bit, maybe even point out a couple of his family members, his son, his daughter-in-law, their characters. His daughter-in-law is the main biker with the short black hair. There's some great behind-the-scenes footage with his family in those films. If you have them films, check out the footage. Real cool family, all about horror. The jokester family too. You know, behind the scenes, they're joking with each other. So not only the family, but they were like friends, have fun together. But Clue Gallagher was a horror icon, so I will be doing a video on him a little bit later today. I got several movies already pulled out. And on that note, once again, thank you for viewing my content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget them notification buttons so you can check out the Clue Gallagher video later when I post it, and others to come afterwards. Yeah, everybody continue having a safe and fun Horror Monday, whether you're at work or home. And I'll catch you later.